Andy, after so many weeks of so many good things to talk about, how much did you focus on first downs and P and 10 in particular after that one? Because that was some pretty ghastly numbers.
So everything always starts with the process and making sure that we're handling the process. You know, and it was an opportunity to learn from some things that we obviously did not do well in the previous week, but there's the same things we didn't do well in practice that week. And so the things that we do well in practice are the things we're going to do well in the game. So it's always about the process. Each week, once again, is a life of its own, and we create that life. And obviously, we got to work to be really diligent and focus on what is important. And that's the process.
What can inherently make P and 10 just different as a data point or as a play call compared to other first downs on a drive? What's just inherently different about that?
The offense you're playing against, the personality of the offensive coordinator. There's a lot of different variables. On P and 10, hash, field starting positions, there's a ton of different variables. So those are a lot of things there that you got to factor in. Personnel.
When Thomas flips to the other corner spot in
Yep.
the middle of the game, how challenging or not is that? What kind of different techniques does he have to do? But, I mean,
Yep.
impressed that he could do that mid-game?
Yeah, we needed him to step up and be able to do that. You know, some guys went down obviously, and ultimately he stepped up and did a great job over there, being able to adjust, allowing us to get our guys in the best positions possible given who is available to play. And we're really, obviously, I mean, he stepped up a ton to be able to do that.
I mean, are there unique challenges to that position compared to the field position? Is it
there are a couple different adjustments. There's no question there's a couple different adjustments. There's no question.
How do you feel like Wright and James did in a bigger role, such a magnitude of the game?
Right.
I feel like those two freshmen performed.
You know what? Those guys all year, they've been battling, and they've gotten to play in certain situations. In the last situation they got to play in, I mean, we were in the middle of a fight, obviously, and trying to fight our way back into a win, in which they helped us do. So they did their part in being able to help us, especially Wright playing a lot of snaps there in that game, and really competing and doing a good job.
Does Troy's thumb affect him game-wise, or do you have to manage some things in practice-wise with him?
Yeah, I don't talk about injuries and stuff. Coach Chris Paul will discuss that, but yeah, I mean, there's always things that you got to manage rep-wise and things like that with the personnel.
How different is this week, Andy? Where last week, yeah, two tight ends and one of them
No
was
doubt.
on those first downs, but that's not really part of the equation here. Here, it's a totally different system and
Totally
running
different,
backs
yeah.
out in the backfield. And
Different pictures, right? Totally different pictures this week opposed to last week. Downs 1 through 3, and so being able to switch gears, but ultimately still, you know, it comes down to us handling our process and doing a really good job and understanding the things that we have to do our job well, and being very disciplined at executing those things, not only through the course of the game, but if you're not doing it through the course of the week, then it's going to be very difficult to do it through the course of the game.
how challenging is it with the running back who is that multidimensional?
Right.
Last year, I know you weren't here, but they dumped to both backs. All right, Williams is gone, but
Yeah.
Borges 300 rushing, 300 receiving is one of only 4 players who's got that.
No question, and he is he's getting the ball a lot of different ways. Obviously, whether it be in the run game, the shovels, the pass game, the routes within the pass game that he runs, and obviously his ability to be the last option for the quarterback, you know, as a check down. And not only when the different ways he gets the ball, but his ability to run with the ball is very, very unique. Low center of gravity, makes a lot of people miss, and he's a tough runner.
All these wide receivers that this team's going to throw out to you on Saturday, does this make you adjust your personal distribution?
There's no question. I mean, like we talked about, the personnel is different than what we saw last week. So obviously the personnel that you know, that we've got to be able to use to be able to match the things that we're seeing is going to be a little different.
When you've been so consistent in pretty much all 4 quarters up until this game, do you learn anything about your defense and the way that they were able to adjust late in that game and be able to put together that 4th quarter?
Well, there's no question that there's some, you know, as I said, there's some things that we brought upon ourselves from our process, and we just discussed those internally to grow, you know, as people and obviously as a defense, as a program. But there's one thing that we did do and that we learned and we grew for sure on the positive side is obviously being able to pull that thing out and stand the fight together as a whole operation, as a whole program, and to win the 4th quarter like we always talk about doing. And so to be able to do that is huge, and that's just not a football experience, that's a life experience to be able to overcome, adapt, adjust, and finish.
Can you say what it was in that practice last week that you didn't like? That you
I will leave that for an internal.
Kind of a schematic, philosophical question, Andy, but if nickel is kind of the new base, is sub more focused on the front now, sub more about whether it's 4-2 or 2-4 or 3-3 than it is about actually what is traditional sub.
Yeah, I mean, just you see so much more spread. Like even in the 12 two tight end personnel, you see so much more spread stuff that you've got to be able to play. And I think if everybody looked at the majority of their defense, a lot of people are playing a lot more with nickel. So the pieces up front, yeah, that's sub, and who's going in with those, that could be considered more sub.
Obviously, nobody scored more than 10 points on this defense. That they scored 31. Is it fair to say that this was either the worst defensive performance, or how do you, I guess, just looking back?
I mean, yeah, I don't think there's any way around saying that it was our worst defensive performance.
You had some success against Washington State and Boise. Did you take some of what you've seen from the past against this offense to help you at all this week?
Yeah, the experience that we have, obviously, being that we've played against them before, but there's things that have changed in the offense as well since the last couple of years since we've played against them. There's some new wrinkles, some different things that they're doing. Obviously, everyone's going to adapt, adjust, and grow, and so very difficult. Obviously, they've been very productive, both points on the scoreboard and obviously moving that ball up and down the field.
And you got 2 guys on your staff that were there, including one just last year, so you get a little bit out of that too with Joe and Ken?
Yeah, the experience of guys familiar with the program and things like that, but that being said, they got new guys on their staff that have replaced, not only on their offense, but in things, so things have changed for them as well.
Thanks, Coach.
Yep, thank you guys.